Hello, everybody. My name is Kaiwan, and I'm the chairperson of the organizing committee for Extravaganza 2022. So once again, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you guys for participating in this competition and also for coming for this particular interview session. This session will feature, well, 3 artists of distinguished achievements in the art field.
Wow.
And they have crafted out their own path into pursuing their passions. And we're gonna hear more about what they have, about their own experiences, where they begin, where they pursue their career, and what they have made out of in these long years of pursuing their passion in art. And hopefully you guys will be able to leave this meeting with some epiphany or some insights as to what to do with the interest in art that you have cultivated over the years. And even if you guys have not drawn art before, you guys may want to start from this interview forward. Yeah. So I'd like to welcome my host, John Tiong, who is actually
Hello.
the artist behind the key art of this competition. I'd like to take the opportunity to credit him, to thank him for his immense effort in crafting out such a beautiful artwork.
Awesome.
And he's going to be the host for this session. And yeah, John, you may take it away.
All right, guys, welcome everyone. We're going to be starting off with our third artist interview for this semester, and this will be a special one where we have 3 distinguished artists with us. So we're going to begin now. So first of all, I do want to, give a short rundown on what Extravaganza is, if no one knows yet. So it is our 9th iteration, our 9th year of Extravaganza. First event in 2009. Yeah. So it's a national art competition with an emphasis on visual arts, in particular anime and manga style, but not exclusive to, obviously. Feel free to do whatever style you want. That is organized by NUS and specifically Newscast, which is our CCA dedicated to comics and anime. Yeah. So it's eligible for all members of any academic institution from age 13 to 30 years old. So that's pretty much what Extravaganza is. So here are our competition judges. Yeah, so first of all, Rachta, multidisciplinary freelance artist. Yeah.
Okay.
So she'll be judging the traditional category.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Next will be Carillus. I think many long-time members will know.
Look at that artwork. Okay.
Yeah, so he's a comic artist at Merriweather.
Yes.
He's going to be judging the comic category. And then lastly, we have Jolene, who is a resident artist at CDS.
Wow.
Yep, and she'll be judging the digital category. All right, so that's the small introductions done. But now here's the interview itinerary. So first, it will be just more formal introductions and your beginnings as an artist. Next will be specific industry questions targeted at all 3 of you. And then lastly will be just art tips in general that you guys, can freely share however you want to. So first of all, just introduce yourselves. I guess starting from Jolene, if possible, then Rachta, then Carillus. All right, if that's fine.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Hey, so hello, I'm Jolene, and right now I work for Colorado Denver Studios. So I'm a resident artist in there, and beginnings would be, I suppose, since I was a kid, but I actually only really started doing digital art about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's honestly never too late because I actually started in my late to mid 20s. So yeah, so hopefully that inspires some of you.
All right. Okay. Is it my turn? Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take the
All right. Thank you, Jolene. That was an amazing introduction. All right. My name is Rachta Lin. I am currently a full-time artist. I quit my job around 5 to 6 years ago to pursue my passion in drawing, and ever since then have been drawing and drawing nonstop. So that's why I'm here with you guys today. So nice to meet you, everybody, and thank you for joining us and for everybody who are here today. All right, I'll pass the baton to Carillus.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I do not have hands, as you can see, so it's
Oh no!
not sure how
What's you
I
gonna
even
do,
got here.
man?
But yeah, okay. I'm a creative producer at Merryweather Media. I'm the
Oh,
director of
wow.
the Singapore branch. But I mean, it
Dang,
sounds
look at
big, but it's a
that.
very small company.
Come on.
I've been I've been doing drawing for a career for like 3 years, I think. 4 years,
Wow.
4 years. And a little bit of
Mm.
trivia. I took part in
Yeah.
Extravaganza in its second year. Was it second or third year as a
Oh,
competitor?
holy.
And
Wow, look
that
at
was when
you, man.
Art Germ was one of the judges.
Holy.
Oh.
That was a
Oh my
long time ago.
gosh.
That was a long time ago.
Wow, pressure.
But yes, besides that, I used to be part of the con circuit. So I was I used to
see.
run a Fantasy Nocturne Productions FNP,
Oh
but that
my
was way back
gosh.
and it dissolved a long time ago. And yeah, that's my introduction.
I see.
All right, thank you all so much for the good introductions. So I guess here's the
Alright.
first actual question. So describe your beginnings as an artist.
Holy.
Yeah, if that's possible. Like, yeah, so I'm sure many of us in the audience are very curious as to how you all discovered
Okay.
your aptitude and interest in art and how you developed your budding passions into
Wow.
adulthood, where it plays an indispensable role in your lives, I would assume. So please tell us about your beginnings. So I guess in the same order, hopefully. Jolene first, I guess.
Okay.
So I started when I was quite young. So I would doodle a lot, like on my textbook. I don't really recommend that, but I would doodle a lot on my textbook in class, and I really like to draw and try different things. I actually usually drew a lot of princesses. It's quite embarrassing, but I mean, we all start somewhere. And that's when I realized that I really like to draw. And I decided that I really wanted to have a career as an artist. So I remember back then when in primary school, teachers would ask, like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I wanted to be an illustrator. And I suppose like if you really want it, maybe it can really happen if you work hard enough, right? Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So
Okay.
next, Rachta. Yep.
All right. I would say, I guess Jolene and I have similar starting point. Okay. I was very young. I think like around 3, 4, 5 years old around that time, and I guess I was kind of like I was watching this anime. Then somehow I felt very taken by it, by that particular anime, and it was like something clicked in me. I thought to myself, I want to draw something like that. And that is kind of a starting point. That moment was very vivid, and I remember it very clearly. And ever since then, I wanted to become an artist. I want to draw as well as that. And it's just kind of like when somebody asks me, adults ask me a typical question, like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like those kind of things. Then I'll be like, oh, I want to be an artist, specifically a manga artist. So yeah, that's how I started. Something along that line.
Wow, what a wholesome intro. Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, sorry. So my turn?
Yay,
Yeah,
it's your turn
Okay.
now.
My starting was a little bit different from everyone else. When
okay.
Because when I was young, and the teacher asked, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I told her I wanted to be a garbage truck driver.
What?
Hey, cool! Is it because of the truck? Looks so cool.
Yeah, the trucks were huge, right? And like when I was young, I also like drawing cars a lot. That's why there's car in my
that's so
name.
cool.
That's why my name is
interesting.
Carillus.
Oh, hey, I didn't know about that.
But
so
yes,
cool. Gosh.
so I actually went through the whole phase of I wanted to do landscape drawings. I wanted to do painting, realism, and then it was only in oh yeah, and I also did a lot of the textbook drawing things. And honestly, they're like the best canvas because you know the Chinese textbooks when you were young. And you know, you used to draw all over them and change the scene and everything. Yeah, that was really fun. But yeah, so I started drawing comics similarly to Rachta. I watched when I was in secondary school, I saw an anime for the first time, I think. And
I see.
yeah, and then I was like, oh man, this is cool. I want to draw like this. And then it kind of started from there.
Oh wow, cool, man.
Yeah, but I was really bad at it. I'll come back to everything
else.
I had to practice.
I don't think I was good at it also. When I first started.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because like
that's so amazing.
So just like Carillus did say that he need to practice a lot to actually get good at his craft, and we see that now he's a very accomplished comic style artist. But you have to go through a lot of practice to get there. So how is the practice process for each of you, if you guys don't mind sharing?
Oh wow. Okay. How do we share? Like
Shall
usual?
we go in order?
Like, in order again, right? Okay, let's do that.
Thank you.
So the practice process, I would say like for digital art, I like to do a lot of pose practices because sometimes I do know that like a part of my weakness is that I tend to gravitate towards similar poses. So I think doing pose practice sketches are very, very useful, as well as like also like sketching different kinds of scenery. I also do background for my clients as well. So sometimes like if I know I have a specific weakness in that area, I will try to like, do some loose sketches, nothing too fancy, just to get the idea. And I think references are really, really important. Like, it's always really, really, really good to have like references that you can refer to, so that you know that you're getting it right and stuff too.
Yay! Okay,
cool.
Me. Okay. My turn, I guess. All right. Wow, practicing. I guess at first when I just draw randomly, when I was young, I was just draw what I want to draw. But when I start to become serious, I was like, okay, what should I do if I want to make this my real job and stuff? So I start like what Jolene said, references is very important. So I start to draw from real life, like maybe just put a vase or whatever that you want to draw in front of you, and then you just try to draw from real life or photograph, something like that. When you observe from reality, you tend to you develop your skill as an artist, your hand-eye coordination, shadow or lighting and whatnot. So that is a good place to start for me. Then practice, keep drawing, repetition, challenge yourself. If you think you can push yourself further today, you do it. If I have to I can't speak a whole lot about this, but that's very much what it is, for practicing. Yep. All right, Carillus.
Yes, for me, I actually had a very different, again,
wow,
this seems to be a pattern now. I had a very different, because I was really bad at the whole practicing one thing kind of thing. I couldn't do post practices. I got very bored of them. So the sort of thing I did when I was young, that's why it took a long time to improve. I was drawing for like over 10 plus years before I actually went made it a career. And that's because I spent a lot of time just dabbling in a lot of different things. So I tried like realism, I tried comics, I tried animation, and it was all just kind of hobby kind of thing. But yeah, I think that actually helps a lot in having a lot of different experiences in the visual arts fields. So not just drawing, but also photography, also knowing how how anatomy works, studying realism to help with manga. Important. Yeah, so there's a lot of cross pollination, cross coverage of skills. And approaching it from different angles can be of help if you're not the kind who is good at really sitting down and practicing one thing over and over.
So synthesizing all the responses from the three different artists, I think the general sentiment is that it is very important to understand that taking references actually teach you how to draw, teach you what it's supposed to look like, and teach you the foundations as to what is expected of an object, instead of trying to draw from imagination. I think a lot of artists tend to have this thing where drawing references is something to be a bit undesirable in a sense. But I think as we develop on, we realize that you need to know the foundations. You need to know exactly how to draw that vase, how to practice lighting upon your rendition. And then and also as Carillus has said,
that's a good speech.
As Carillus has said, to also try out on different things, because references force you to look at different source material to practice upon your brush stroking skills, what kind of brushes to use, what kind of color to render the form. So I think this is a very great advice for the artist right here, for the young artist right here. So thank you very much.
Wow, what an amazing summary.
One thing I want to add on, there's this program called PureRef, P-U-R-E-R-E-F.
Oh,
that's something that a lot of artists use, and it's the secret that they don't tell you about. So go check it out. I think you can get it.
He's telling you good stuff right there.
I am not on the company, so and they're not paying me.
All right.
All right, guys. Those are some great
stuff.
tips, for some practicing, and also very cool, humble beginnings from all of you. But now it seems like you guys are very, entrenched into the industry of art. So now on to our next section, which are industry questions, and these are going to be more targeted. So the first question will be for you, Jolene. So you're one of the artists in the local art studio, Collateral Damage Studios. The studio has not only engaged with many companies to develop branding visuals, but also made multiple appearances in international boothing events and Dojin communities. So can you describe your work as a resident artist in CDS?
Yeah, sure. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so what we do at CDS is that because we have a huge pool of clients, we kind of have to be able to adapt our styles as well, because different clients will have different needs. So I find that usually when you deal with, because you have so many different clients, it's kind of like, sometimes in the morning I'm doing manga, and then by the afternoon I'm like doing realistic backgrounds. So it's it can be quite fun. You just need to. So we just need to be able to set priorities. Like, okay, so we know that maybe this client's work is a little bit more urgent, so we're trying to set that one as a higher priority. So day to day is pretty much like this. So we try to finish the urgent work first, or the harder pieces first, and then we'll slowly go to the ones where the deadlines are not as urgent, or maybe it's a little bit easier to handle. And let me see, what else do we also we kind of, for the boothing part, sadly I joined CDS when COVID hit, so I didn't actually booth with them. I did booth by myself with my friends before, so those are actually pretty fun. So I'm not sure whether this will be helpful if as helpful tips, but if you do intend to do boothing, just remember to be early, because once the crowds start coming in, you don't want to be setting up your booth. It's a nightmare. So yeah. So that's pretty much what I do at CES. It's a very huge variety of work, and hopefully we'll get to go for some conventions now that the restrictions are a bit lifted. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, it seems like we're all hoping for conventions to come back. I myself am very excited that they come back too. I do want to ask something though, specifically, since you said there was a variety of art styles you have to go through in CDS. What was the most weirdest thing you've had to do, or the most out there thing, if you don't mind me asking this?
Weirdest thing? That's a very good question. Let me think. I've done quite a number of interesting projects before. Weirdest thing. I mean, I've had some clients ask for some pretty interesting things before. Suddenly, I'm having a little bit. I'm so sorry. A bit of a brain fart moment here. But I'm trying to think of the weirdest one I've had. Okay, so I think we did have one where this was for a client in USA. And maybe it's not that weird, but they did request for a retro ad featuring tentacles, and I think it's we are so used to tentacles coming a bit from a more anime perspective. It was a pretty the end result was pretty weird, but it was pretty cool at the same time. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful sharing. Okay, so I'm just gonna move on to the next question, which is for Rachta.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So you left the company. You were a creative director for an MNC to pursue freelancing as an artist. So how did you make your decision to pursue your art more aggressively, I guess? And how would you describe your work as a freelance artist in Singapore?
I see. Okay. This is going to sound very cheesy and corny, but drawing has always been my calling and my passion. Like I told you guys earlier that ever since I was young, I always wanted to be a manga artist. So I guess when I reached the point that a lot of people tell me this is like probably the pinnacle of graphic design career path. Currently, I'm already an art director. So what are you going to do next? What am I going to do next? What's the next step, right? I was asking myself, should I stay? Should I continue on this path forward? Like, maybe taking up some business class or whatever and continue doing this? Or should I basically look back to my dream? The dream that at that point in time I felt that I have abandoned it. And I was like, what can I do? So in the end, I chose to go back and pursue my passion as an artist. I quit my job to do it because I know that if I stay in the job, I cannot really do two things well at the same time. So I chose to take the risk, very big fun, and continue basically do this, start drawing, pursuing my passion full time. So that's how I decided to to pursue my art more aggressively. I didn't really have a big plan in my head. I just thought, okay, I want to do this. This is the only time I can do this. So I did it. And yeah, that's that's how it goes, I guess. That's how it went for me. So now you want me to describe my work as a freelance artist in Singapore. So
Yeah.
okay, how should I say this? Okay, there are many sides to my work and there are many ways to describe it, I guess. Depends on which angle you want me to shine the light on. You can let me know, like, what do you want me to talk about as a general feeling I have as a freelance artist. Generally, I feel it's not without challenge, but it's also very rewarding. It's kind of like a labor of love and passion. So okay, I'm gonna be cheesy again. I feel that when you do something for love, it's different. I mean, you can do all kind of things for it. I can go 10 steps further for it. It's a very different feeling when you work for a company. I actually feel that this is the most typical job I have ever had in my life. But I love it. I like the challenge it presents me. I like the journey, so I don't really mind it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
kind of like it's a lot like if you're in a job, it's like
yeah.
you're kind of given a schedule, you're kind of given a set of tasks, but then they may not be something that you wish to pursue, and then it may not be something that you want to do, and that is why you decided to go and do something that you really want to do after spending so much time in a company whereby you really have to ask yourself whether you want to continue doing that. I think Carillus also had a very similar experience whereby he was also working in a full-time job before he decided to pursue his art full-time, and it is not a very easy jump, like it's not a very easy jump for like for people, but then when you take the leap, perhaps it's worth it to pursue your passions. So I guess, yeah. So I guess maybe I can just want to ask what is like the day-to-day work for you, like
for me, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually I would say it's quite similar to a full-time job. I set schedule for myself. If not, then I have to be disciplined. Okay, wake up. I prepare, like work, then eat, work. Then I don't know. And actually, like work until I feel I will set a goal for myself. I have a time schedule like that could last until maybe 6 months later. I'll say this is what I want to accomplish. So this is what I'm gonna do today, and step by step. So it could be today, it could be like attend this meeting, or it could be a sketch my manga, it could be okay, complete this line art for this commission. It could be anything. I just see my goal. I have to finish this by this time. So today I'm gonna do this kind of thing. Yeah.
So it's like you have to set up a few like
yeah,
schedules of deliverables.
Yeah, instance, something like that.
I see. So it requires a very strict discipline and time
so,
management.
so technically, yes, it's still kind of like working normally. Just you set your own timing and you do your own things, and you need to know what you have to do and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes extreme sense. Even kind of draws correlation to how we transition from to COVID. It's like nowadays it's like for lectures you can just kind of you can hop in with if you feel like it, or not hopping with whether you don't feel like it. But the thing is that you have to really manage your time as to manage your learning, manage your deliverables, and then there's a lot of flexibility and freedom to you, but it is up to you to decide like what is the work you want to put in and discipline yourself to follow that schedule. And I think it's a lot like what you have described, and I think that's pretty interesting.
All right.
All right, thank you very much for the sharing. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So lastly, Carillus, you are a resident artist at Meriwether and artist VTuber streaming on Twitch. So please tell us your work at Meriwether. Can you tell us about how you achieved your dream career and what tips you can give to participants for pursuing a career in art?
Okay. So sorry, I kind of missed that. Did you want me to talk a little bit about what I do at Meriwether, or is it?
Yeah, Meriwether. Yeah.
Okay, so like the kind of stuff I'm working on now is like I mean, Meriwether is a comic. We do online web comics, and currently we're quite involved in the whole VTuber space. And working, for example, on law video projects for VShojo, which is one of the big companies in the indie VTuber space. Well, not really indie anymore; they're corporate VTubers. But yeah, so I've also worked on stuff for like Hololive Ian's Mori Calliope, and apart from that, of course, I do the comics for like the Internet Explorer Chan series and some storyboarding work for some of the webtoon stuff that we have. But yeah, as for how I got this job, it was really because of how I was engaged in the online art space before I joined.
I see.
Yeah, it was I was making a comic on webtoons called Xscope, and Mary just came to me one day on Twitter. He just sent me a message and said, "Hey, do you want to do comics with me?" Right.
Ooh,
and then back
cool.
then I was in construction, so I was doing engineering.
Holy crap.
And it's a very big difference there. And so I couldn't really see like going any higher or going any further where I was. And so I told him, okay, if you can match this amount, then I'll join you. And he said, okay. And so that's how I kind of made the jump. Yeah, I mean, it's a great career. I never really the thing is I never really intended it to be a career when I was young, because I've always been the type who's like, okay, I need to go become an engineer and earn proper money, and because that's the whole thing about artists not being able to earn enough. But I think that's very different nowadays. The internet has definitely given a new lease on life to artists to make a career, and so yes, that leads us into the tips, right? So to pursue a career in art, keep practicing. That's the first obvious one. Get engaged with the online art scene if you want to keep your options open, right? Because there's a lot of because of how much of the space is online these days, you don't know who you will come in contact with and who you'll make friends with. And especially on Twitter now, I think also TikTok, Discord.
Oh god, I'm so stupid with TikTok, man.
But yeah, it is a growing art space there, and there are a lot of people.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
Okay. So I've met some very interesting people through Twitter, like people who are in like for example, Hollywood screenwriters, for example.
Wow, my gosh.
And also like I think like we've got people in the games industry, animators, for Disney, that sort of thing. So it's all it's just as long as you go there, you wanna do art, you wanna learn art. It's very easy. You can form connections that you may not realize that you could form. Right. Okay. Second tip would be like focus on building your own skill set. Which I'll get into on the art tips later, and also give conventions an experience. If you can get a booth with friends or something, go and give it a try, because it teaches you a lot of things, and it also makes you there's additional motivation to get yourself to do better art once you see what other people can do as well, All right. And yeah, get to know your fellow peers and don't just stick to yourself. Don't just draw in isolation. Yeah. I mean, the Chinese have a saying for that, right? Like what is it? 闭门造车, which is to just build a car in your own garage or something. But yeah, so it's yeah. And also, oh yeah, this last one I have here on is to avoid idolizing your fellow artists. That's a big one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they may be popular and famous, but doesn't mean that you can't be friends with them and learn from them and get art tips from them as well. Yeah.
So to build on what you guys have said, I think some of the most interesting things I've heard this evening is perhaps we are getting to network know more people even from like a young age. I think is quite important, especially in like small events. For instance, AFA as of recent was one of those events where you can just go there and meet fellow artists or perhaps like cosplayers, and then get to know people, know more people, and know people more, and get to know their interests, and then perhaps open up more collaborative opportunities. And even if this may not apply too well in a pandemic-ridden world as we are right now, there's as Carillus and Jolene and Rachta has suggested, there are a lot of online presence, a lot of online communities that you can, of course, go and mingle with, go and get involved with, go and ask, oh, how can I improve my artworks, or how can I draw this particular thing? And there's a lot of different events going on right now. For instance, art fights are pretty popular, as well as a lot of interesting art events on Twitter that you can make yourself known as an artist. I think building a community or finding a community to be part of as an artist is a very big boost in terms of this constant motivation to pursue this art lah. Because if you're just pursuing by yourself, it's a very lonely road. But then if you were to pursue with other people, get to know more, and even like perhaps expand it into business ventures together, I think that can be quite interesting. Yeah. So I think that is a very interesting experience. Very interesting to hear about how is it like to be at CDS, how is it like to be at as a freelance artist, managing your own schedules, and then finally how to manage yourself at Merriweather Media. Of course, some tips to pursue your art, of course, in a very sustainable manner. Yeah, very interesting.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot for the various sharing about your various art careers. It was very interesting. I hope a bit inspiring to some people, trying to get into the art industry and all. So finally, I guess, to transition into our last section. Art tips.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Art tips.
It was interesting to hear how you all came to be, where you all stand in the art industry. So we're just going to be having this kind of open sharing session to share some art tricks and tips that you use or employ in your daily life or just in general.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be, try to keep it, I guess, into the top 5 if you want, but there's not a hard limit, obviously. Feel free to share as many as you want. But, keep it top 5 if you want to stick to, a specific number.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess you can start with Julie.
Okay, so just tips and tricks. Okay, so for me, I personally like to have a very big visual library. So not just like getting things from like Pinterest and stuff, but even everyday things. Like, okay, so I personally really like to take pictures of things that I find really pretty in real life. Like, oh, if I order something at a cafe and I'm like, oh wow, these pancakes look so good. I wish I could draw something like that. So like, I would just take my phone out, take a picture of it, and one day it might be useful. So it's good to always keep this kind of like things by your side so you can always reach for it. It could be anything. Like sometimes like if you're walking down the street and you're like, wow, okay, the sun is hitting between the trees and the rays are so beautiful. Like take a picture of it. Very, very useful. Like these things you may not be able to find easily online from someone else because you personally experience them in person. So I think that's something I really like to do. It could also be like scenes from movies or anime, manga that you read, you watch, like maybe something about that particular scene really speaks to you. You could take a screenshot of it. You could just like take a picture of it and just keep it as a memory so you can look back at it next time. Yeah. So another tip that would be to actually practice things that you don't like. So for example, when I first started art, I really did not like doing backgrounds. But it's one thing that I learned was that I would find something that like, okay, so I do not like drawing backgrounds, but maybe there's architecture that I do like. And when you start finding things that you do enjoy or like appreciate, like I really like Victorian architecture, Gothic architecture, so I'll start practicing that. And like from there, you start to learn to like things that you may not have enjoyed previously. And you realize like, hey, actually backgrounds are not that bad after all. So this is like one of the things I found. A third tip would be to keep experimenting with different styles, concepts, ideas. So like you could try different, for digital art, you can like try experimenting with different brushes or like textures. Sometimes you could try different techniques like photo bashing. Like that's something that's actually really useful. Yeah, photo bashing can be very helpful. Sometimes you could do like, you want to do a really detailed line art, or sometimes you could be like, oh, I want to just try volumetric painting. No line art, let's just go, you know, like these things can all be very helpful to increase your kind of like skill in different areas of art. So yeah. And my first tip would be, I'm not sure if this is helpful. I hope it is, but I would say that like when you do really like a particular artist's work, it's good to study how they do it. If they have like video tutorials, it could be helpful. But try not to completely emulate their style, because I think that you don't want to become over-reliant on always looking at someone's work. Like you can use their style as inspiration, but don't be over-reliant on like copying them or just following their techniques exactly. Always keep a little bit of you in it, so there's still your spirit in your art. I know that sounds really corny, but you want an essence of yourself in your art. You don't want to just be remembered as a person who's trying to copy this person. Yeah, and I think you feel a lot more fulfilled that way as well. And for my fifth tip would be to actually take breaks, because our job is pretty taxing. Your eye health, your hand health is all really important. I do know sometimes after a long day at work, my hands really hurt, my eyes feel really dry. So it's really important to take breaks. And like breaks don't have to be completely useless. So sometimes you could use the time when you take a break to look for more inspiration. So breaks are really helpful for me to not be burned out. So when you get burned out, you get uninspired. Like sometimes a break could really help you to get back in the groove. You could start looking at inspiration, and then maybe your creative juices will start flowing again. And I think these are pretty important. I hope. Yeah. Hopefully these are helpful to you.
I think these are very important tips. Because I think first, being very aggressive if where you find inspiration is a very good idea. It may not even just come from like, oh, just scroll Pixiv or scroll Twitter, and then I'll just copy out the next thing I like. And it's more like finding inspiration and beautiful things in real world, where most of our arts are even come from, you know. So even then, from something real, you convert it into something of your own taste. I think it can make for very, very good art, as you can see from your very amazing portfolio of artworks.
Yay! Thank you.
And then I think another thing is that I think taking care of yourself is also a very important tip, because most artists actually spend a lot of time in their craft, perfecting their craft. But the latent thing to take care of course, is of yourself. Whether you can sustain this effort in the long run, whether you can keep up with the practices, keep up with the progress. Because sometimes even no matter how hard you try, if you try it the wrong way, you try if your body is feeling tired or your spirit is just not there, it's not gonna be very good progress on your part. So I think you know, taking breaks is a very good idea. Even looking for ergonomic devices that may make your life easier. For instance, investing in the proper equipment may be very good for you, because if you invest in the wrong way or you draw the wrong way, you may even get like carpal tunnel or like some injuries. That is very, very bad to have, especially for artists with like, you know, schedules and deadlines to look after. So I think these are very, very great advices. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah.
Strongly agree with you know, take care of your body, and you know, we'll become
very important.
You know, do wrist exercises. RSI is not fun to have as an artist. Absolutely. So okay, next Rachta then.
Oh my gosh, so excited. Nervous what to do. Okay, all right. Wow, Jolene has shared a lot of amazing tips already. Okay, I guess I'll go for something that how should I say? I try not to repeat what she has said. I think that was a really good points that she has raised.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So yeah, being an observer of life in general, like what she said, you know, you take in visual visual information from your surroundings. Keep your radar on all the time. I think that was really good. And I guess, okay, we're gonna sound like cheesy again. I'm like this queen of cheese at this point. All right, so love what you do. Do what you love. Especially, let's say you're a freelance artist, you work for yourself and stuff like that. You need this a lot. Okay, Queen of Gouda cheese. That's your favorite cheese. Sound tasty. Okay, anyway, back to the topic. Love what you do. You do what you love, right? Because in this field, you will need a lot of those. In my opinion, because there come a time when you fail at something, or there's challenges coming up, clients, people giving you a hard time, you post artwork online, nobody cares, those kind of things. There'll be those moments, and this is the moment that love and your commitment will come into play and keep you going forward. And trust in your journey, I guess. This is, especially if it's your dream, this is what you want to do, then trust in it. Even when you first got into it, you feel that there's a lot of people that are better than you, more famous than you, and there will always be people like that. There will always be artists like that, and that's okay. That's okay. You can do it too, even when you don't compare yourself with other people. Just got into it and trust in it, and you'll be fine. And also, you will fail some in this journey, and that's okay. It's very okay. It's the normal thing. We fail all the time. We might not broadcast it to the world that, oh shit, I did something stupid, or my artwork sucks or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, and that's okay. Just take it as a learning experience and keep going forward. Practice is very important. Keep doing it. And the last thing is a bit practical advice is discipline and timeliness. Okay, sometimes we artists, sometimes we have this thing that, okay, we are not super disciplined or timely or whatever. But when you are in this field, you have to be the kind of person that your client can trust and rely on. So if you fail this, doesn't matter how good is your work, the client will not be able to put their mind and their trust on you, and you will not be able to move forward if people cannot rely on you with your work. So this is very important. Practice on your discipline and timeliness. The rest, I guess, everybody will be able to give a better advice than me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Leighton, to you, Carillus. Oh, have you already shared your tips? Sorry.
No, I haven't. But
okay,
yeah, maybe
so
I should have come before Rachta, because Rachta kind of wraps up the
God,
emotional and inspirational kind of thing. But
I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. It's my points are more like really more like hard points. Yeah, so they're more like stuff like yeah, a lot of overlap with what Rachta and Jolene have already said. But yeah, number one is I've got this on my first tip. Ergonomics are super important. All right.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, Jolene did cover a little bit of it, but stuff besides just taking breaks. Because I knew a bunch of webtoon artists who basically got carpal tunnel, right? Because they were drawing all the time.
Yeah, actually me too.
Yeah. So the thing is that a lot of it can be avoided if you just have stuff at the right height, at the right angle. Like I've drawn for like, in all my time, I haven't really had carpal tunnel as a problem, even though I draw a lot. That's because from the start, I focused a lot on making sure that my whole workspace was very ergonomic. So it is very, very important for especially for anyone doing a career, because your health comes first. If your hand needs to rest, you can't work. Right?
Yes.
So that's number one. I can't stress it enough. Number two, okay, because I am a comic artist, right? My scope is a little bit different from that of like illustrators, for example. So for me, a lot of my inspiration comes from movies, comes from other comics, and so it's stuff like framing, stuff like like also from animation. Yeah. So so it's a matter of not just looking at pictures or looking at what other photos that people have taken, like seeing how directors make decisions in movies and shows is also important if you are planning to do comics, right? And how to learn how to do storytelling and things like that. Yeah. So again, it's about having a wide range of hobbies within the like visual arts, and try and like with a whole bunch of different knowledge, right, from different spaces and different spheres, you can offer skills that maybe other people may not have, and that can give you a leg up sometimes, or actually a lot of the time. Right. So like Rachta with like a graphic design background and everything probably has a lot over an artist who's like done nothing but draw people. Yeah. Same with Jolene learning backgrounds, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the second one. Number 3, I've got I think someone mentioned in the chat, but I actually wrote it down: touch grass, right? Have an exercise routine. It keeps you healthy, right? It keeps aches and pains away. I've learned this firsthand, and is a good excuse to make friends and go out with your friends. Yeah. And going out and exercising and doing like other activities, again, like Jolene said, also offers different experiences that can be very useful. All right. This one again, focus on finding yourself. That's again something that Jolene has mentioned. Don't get known as a discount someone, right? I've seen this term before. It's very sad. It is very sad, because even though you have all the skill, you're so capable, right? But people are forever gonna know you as that person who draws like the other person. So if you want to really have a reputation, you have to build your own brand, if you will. Yeah. For me personally, I just focus on things that I liked. And I stole skills, like very specific things, like how lineup was done or what colors are being used. I stole them from different artists, and then I kind of built everything into my own like style that people can recognize now. Yeah. And this 2 more. One is have a safety net, right? This is something that I think especially if you're planning to go to uni, or if you're already in uni, art is a field that does not necessarily require degrees or diplomas. So having a safety net, like another big like education in another space, is always useful. And it allows you to actually pursue art with a bit more with more with less worry, because you have something to fall back on. Yeah. And also, now last one, don't get involved in any drama.
All right, that's a good one.
That's a very important one. Yeah, and those are my tips.
I think from all these opinions, I think I can synthesize a few insights from, at least from my end, and I hope I represent the audience views based on that. So basically, I think love for art is very important. I think discovery of art for that love of art is also very important, because in the sense that what you had, the vision you hold on to now may not be something that you hold on to in the future. It may evolve, it may change based on your taste, based on what you experience and what you see. And I think enjoying the pursuit for that is very important. And that evolution of art, or basically remaining in that journey to find something that you can really go down with as an artist, requires a bit of self-control, a bit of maintenance on your end, to make sure that in the pursuit of art you don't ruin yourself in the process, because it's very easy to get too deep into art, in a sense that you stop caring about your family and friends, even yourself. And
oh my gosh,
I think it's very important to keep a balance. Even if you pursue full-time as an artist, you want to pursue it, you have to learn how to take a few steps back, learn how to self-reflect upon, is this what I really want to do, or is there something I really want to try, and then go for it. And I think Jolene's response and really talk about some kind of adventurous attitude in the pursuit of art. I think this is reflected by Rachta and Carillus as well, in the sense that don't be afraid of like pursuing something that is out of like what is normally a thing in Twitter or something. If it aligns with your vision, it aligns with something that you yourself feel connected to, and perhaps that vision can be shared, and that is where you have your own original interpretations as an artist. And I think that is very important. And I think these are very great advice, and I thank you for sharing. And I also like to take the opportunity to thank you guys for coming down here to talk about your very personal experiences, your journey in art. So I think the audience will have learned a lot from this sharing, and I'd like to thank you guys for it. Yeah. So thank you.
All right, that was a good session.
Yay.
All right.
Thank